Hey everyone, and today we are doing the Call of Duty Black Ops 1 worst to best ranking of all the weapons in the game for Call of Duty Zombies, and this is the last worst to best that I'm going to redo, and maybe at some point I might redo the Black Ops 2 one just because not all the footage in it was zombies because I didn't have all the DLC at the time, but now I have much more of it, so I can definitely get away with it better now. So let's just get right into this. Here are the rules for our list. We're ranking them based on how far they can take you, their general effectiveness, the damage of the gun. We're considering the pack-a-punch versions of each weapon. In general, the points that they can get you for some of the weapons, like the MP40 and MP5K, because those are like overall relatively good guns, but not like great, and they can last you somewhat decently. A lot of the guns in Black Ops 1 aren't the greatest, but they're also the most fun out of all the series. So I mean, you have that. I mean, I'd rather pick, like, yes, a lot of the weapons in this game are bad, but they're very, very fun to use. So that is something I look forward to. I looked forward to making this video. It's just because the guns are fun to use. Some of the newer games they're not as fun to use. Anyway, continue with the rules. We assume you have PhD Flopper, because if you don't, why are you playing the game? No wonder weapons, and in general, some of these rankings may be based off my opinion. So let's get right into this. At our number 40 spot is the ballistic knife. Oh, but before I say anything, if I miss any gun, I don't care. Just mention in the comments and I'll tell you the area where I'd rank it. Anyway, for number 40 spot is the ballistic knife, and I mean, should be no figure. It's pretty much useless if you're playing solo. You can use it to revive your downed allies in the later, not even in the later rounds, but you can use it the pack-a-punch version. You can use it to revive downed allies just by shooting the blade at them. Otherwise, it's not that good of a weapon. I'd much rather have a gun than the ballistic knife. So yeah, that's all I have to say. At number 39 spot is the Kar98K, and I mean, it's just not fair putting this gun even on this list because it's so perfect. And actually, before I say anything, now that we're talking about a World at War gun, for most of the World at War guns, we're gonna be using the World at War footage because I'm really lazy. And when I mean lazy, I mean I'm broke and I don't have the other DLC, the Moon DLC. Anyway, but I have World at War, and I mean the guns are the same, and the game, and they're roughly around the same area anyway. Except the Black Ops 1 has better weapons. So, at least in my opinion. Anyway, Kar98K, not even fair to put it here. All jokes aside, though, early rounds is not bad for headshots, but no, don't use this. It's not that good. Anyway, at our number 38 spot is the crossbow, and this is an explosive. The arrows are explosive, so but the explosion like underwhelmed me a lot. Like a lot. It underwhelmed me. Upgraded, it's not horrible, but it's. Why even have this? This is just complete box fodder to me, and there's not much of a good reason to actually pick this up out of the box. Anyway, at number 37 spot is the Spectre, and very similar to some of the other weapons, this gun is weak. It is the worst SMG in the game, but I mean, it's good for points. That's what I would use it for. Just get out of the box, spend all the ammo, and try to get the points back you made from the box, and then just spin the box again. That's what I use the Spectre for. Pretty simple. Anyway, at our number 36 spot is the scoped car. And compared to some of the other weapons in this game, this gun just isn't that good. Yeah, it does more damage than the Kar 98K, but you have a scope and it's just not good that much outside of that. Anyway, at our number 35 spot and ending our bad section is the M1 carbine, and underwhelming semi-automatic rifle from World at War and when it got reintroduced into this game. It's overall pretty fine, but it's just there are better weapons. There are much better weapons. Anyway, moving into our okay tier or section of the video. At our number 34 spot is the Gewehr 43. Very similar to the M1 carbine, except I think the Gewehr is slightly better. But they're like the same gun pretty much, semi-automatic rifles. Anyway, at our number 33 spot is the M14. And good for early round points, but I mean, yeah, you have M14 gang and Olympia gang. M14 is worse. I prefer the M14 though, just for help like progressing in the game, because it's good for counting shots and using that for points. But it's one of the worst starting room weapons you can have. Anyway, at number 32 spot is the Stakeout, and the Stakeout's bad. It's really bad. It's atrocious. It is the worst shotgun in the game, and like the damage on it's fine in early rounds, but like once you get to 20, like don't even use this ever. It's atrocious. Like even Pack-a-Punch is not that good. And another shotgun at our number 31 spot is the Olympia, and I would say this is much better than the Stakeout. Its issue is it's a 2-shot before you have to reload. It is a starting room weapon, and it also has that like, what is it? It's called the Hades. So it has the flames effect kind of. Or is it the Dragon's Breath? That's what I'm looking for. That's the thing it has, and that does actually do extra damage to the zombies, which is why above the Stakeout. Not much, but the Olympia is better than the Stakeout, guys. The Stakeout is so bad. Don't ever use the Stakeout, guys. It's not that good. But Olympia, very solid starting room weapon. You can definitely use this into like the late teens, early 20s. But by then you might want to start like actually switching out for other guns. Anyway, at our number 30 spot is the China Lake, and some of you are going to be like, this should be like in the bad section, and with Flopper and Pack-a-Punch, it's not horrible. It's still bad, don't get me wrong. I'd much rather have, but the damage on it is like actually somewhat decent when Pack-a-Punched. Same with the reload speed's kind of bad, and it limits your mobility a little bit. But outside that, the damage is fine, and that's just my biggest issue with it, is that like it's like it's a pump action launcher, so it's not good. It's not comparable to some of the other launchers in the game, but it's not horrible. Definitely like upgrade this on like Ascension and kind of run it for a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. Like I said, it's not horrible. I mean, it's not bad. It's not good, but it's also not bad either. So it's in the okay section, towards the relatively towards the bottom, which is where I think it belongs. Anyway, at our number 29 spot is the single CZ75, and one of the best things about this gun, I would say, is that it's really good for points, and it has a lot of ammo, like a lot of ammo, and it has a relatively fast fire rate too if you just spam it. So that's always helpful for a pistol. But yeah, not a horrible pistol, but it's just there's no reason to put it anywhere else. And anyway, at our number 28 spot is the dual wield CZ75. Pretty much just having two CZ75s, except you have less ammo than you would think you would with this. So, they're like the same thing, which is why they're back to back. But yeah, they're not that good. They're not that good. Anyway, at our number 27 spot and finishing off the OK section is the FG42. Personally, this is not a bad gun to use, but many other guns, and this is you could arguably put this in the good section, but I just feel like a lot of the other like ARs and SMGs and Black Ops were much better compared to some of the World at War weapons. Don't get me wrong, there are some World at War weapons a lot higher on this list, but I feel like just comparing them, the FG42 kind of just goes down to this weird section where it's not bad, but it's not great either, if you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, entering our good tier is, at our number 26 spot, is the G11, and the G11 is one of the worst ARs, but I mean, it's there. If you go for headshots, it's actually somewhat decent, but otherwise it's an AR where I would pick it up out of the box, use all of its ammo to try to get points, and then put it back in. So that's how I use the G11. Slightly better at our number 25 spot is the FNFAL, and this is bad. This is not bad. See, the thing is, Black Ops weapons are much worse, so the bar is a lot lower. The FNFAL is not bad on early rounds. Unupgraded and upgraded, it becomes a 3-round burst, which actually makes the fire rate slower. You're unable to spit out as much bullets as you can with the unupgraded one. That's my biggest issue with it. The damage isn't horrible for Black Ops, but there are guns I'd rather have than this. And I'm sure most people would rather have. At our number 24 spot is the MP5K, and this is, I have one word for this gun, and it is point. This is probably one of the best point weapons. I normally get it out of Ascension, right leaving the starting room in Ascension, then use it for points to spin the box, and maybe a little bit longer to help me get points for some of the landers. But after that, I don't really use it. This is a great early round point weapon. Pack Punch is not horrible, but I mean, it gets up here because it's useful. That's why I put it this relatively high up. Anyway, at our number 23 spot is the MPL, which only barely edges out the MP5K. Equally good as points. I think the MPL has a bit higher damage though, and faster fire rate. It's just a little bit better of an MP5K. That's what the MPL is. I think the damage is not the damage. The ammo is a little bit less than the MPL, but and personally, I actually really like the MPL. I feel like it's a more fun SMG to me, but they're roughly the same with the MP5K. Anyway, at our number 22 spot is another great point SMG, and that is the MP40. Great on Kino, where you're just able to get it a couple doors out of the starting room, grab it, and then use that for just for getting points, and just finishing off getting set up on Kino. That's what I would use the MP40 on. And overall, it's actually a pretty solid SMG. Nothing. It's like that one of the more average guns in Black Ops, I would say. It's not bad. It's not great. It's great for points. Good for early rounds, but that's about what I can say for the MP40. Anyway, at our number 21 spot is the M16, and the M16, it's not horrible, but unupgraded. It's a three. I think it might be. It's not a 3-round burst, is it? I don't remember. But it's been a minute. So M16 is solid. And Pack Punch, you get a underbarrel grenade launcher as well, which it's horrible. Don't ever use it. It's not good at all. And not don't ever use it, but it's much of a worse launcher. I wouldn't use it. But you do have a decent amount of ammo for it. And overall, the M16 is a pretty solid weapon for early rounds and middle rounds, but once you start getting into like Black Ops high rounds, I would get rid of it. Anyway, at our number 20 spot is the Type 100, and a very solid SMG from World at War. Honestly, that's about as much. It's a great point weapon. It's pretty good for damage, but outside of that, not much else I can say that's positive for the Type 100. Alright, on to our 19th spot is the first of only 2 LMGs on our list, the HK-12. And personally, I really like the HK. I feel like it's a bit underrated, I would say. But the damage isn't horrible, but it's the slowest LMG mobility wise. The reload speed I think is actually slower as well. It's overall it's the slowest LMG, but fire rate's decent, same with the damage. And I mean, yeah, it's a pretty solidly overall good gun in Black Ops. That's what I can say about it. Anyway, ending our good section and going on to our great, we begin at number 18 with the STG. The STG is a solid AR, still paper thin, which is one of my favorite features about the World at War and Black Ops. They're still both like paper thin. But yeah, solid AR from World at War. Not much to say about it. You only have it in those few maps though, so you can't like get it all the time. And in my opinion, there's just better ARs out there that are much easier and much more widely available to get. Going on to our number 17 spot is another World at War weapon, is the trench gun. Very solid shotgun actually. I've always felt like the trench gun has been pretty solid overall. And like I said in the last ranking video, it's a slower reload speed, but it'll still do relatively good on those later rounds. And when I mean later rounds, I mean like late 20s. Upgraded too. But it's pretty good. At our number 16 spot is the Thompson, also from World at War. And very good point weapon, pretty decent damage. And you know, it's just here because it's a great weapon to use, don't get me wrong, but there are much better SMGs than it, that I would say. So yeah, it's probably one of the better SMGs in the entire game. At our number 15 spot is the PM63. So y'all must think, why is this gun this high up? And you have to use it if you use it for its very specific circumstance, it is one of the best guns in the game. But if you don't use it for that very specific circumstance, it's not that great. Upgraded, you get the Tokyo and Rose, and what this gun is really good at is like killing like 1 or 2 zombies in front of you. So say you're running around the map and a zombie just spawns out of nowhere, you aren't ready for it. Killing that zombie is what the PM63 is good at. It has to be upgraded, guys. Come on. But that's what the PM63 is good at. It's pretty good for points, honestly, early round. It's not bad on damage either, and has a really, really fast fire rate. I wish the ammo was a lot higher, honestly. Like the stock ammo, at least. Just for high rounding and such. I've done a challenge where I did the PM63 only. I got like around 20-ish. Like, it's a good gun. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's the best. Is this a pistol or SMG in this? I think it's an SMG. It's not the best SMG, but for its very specific circumstance, and this thing will kill on later rounds as well, it's the best at doing that. So I have to give it props for doing its job correctly. Anyway, another SMG at our number 14 spot is the AK-74U, and see what this does. The AK-74U is really good at everything, but not amazing at anything. You know, I think its overall usefulness is better than the PM63. I mean, because this is both, it has good damage, it's good at killing, it's good at it has good mobility. It's overall a really solid, well-rounded gun, and the only issue I would have with it is damage in later rounds, which the PM63 beats, but its overall usefulness is better than the PM63, which is why it's ranked higher. There's just more factors that help support the AK-74U. Anyway, on to our number 13 spot is the RPK, and this is the best LMG in the game. Fastest mobility for an LMG, really good reload, good damage, good. I love that. Love the iron sights on this. Honestly, it's one of my, it's probably my favorite LMG, and probably all of COD Zombies. Honestly, the Dingo from BO3 might be one of my favorites as well. These two guns are my favorites, and I just really love using the RPK. It's very reliable on the later rounds as well. Like, you can definitely use this in the 30s and still be relatively good. And yeah, gets our number 13 spot for that. At our number 12 spot is the double barrel shotgun, and it has one of the highest damages in the game for shotguns. It's very overall well gun from World at War, and I think this is our final World at War gun as well. And yeah, I have no issues with the double barrel. It's overall a solid gun. It's only issue is its ammo, and it has 2 shots before you have to reload. Anyway, number 11 spot, we have the FAMAS, and this probably should have been lower, more like lower in the great section. I really like the FAMAS. I love the fast fire. It's really good, solid damage. But at such a fast fire, they run out of ammo really quickly, and but you will still be killing zombies on those later rounds, which is why it's ranked higher, and why I believe it's better than a lot of the other guns I've listed so far. And because it actually will kill things on later rounds, it should. And when I mean later rounds, I mean like 30, like early 30s. This is Black Ops 1 we're talking about, guys. It's overall pretty solid in my opinion, and there's an argument for it to be lower though, and I will concede to that argument. Anyway, at our number 10 spot, and which might be a surprise to some of you, it's the HS-10, and kind of similar role to the PM63, but as a shotgun. It's a dual wield shotgun when pack-a-punched. This actually does really solid amount of damage, but ammo is probably its biggest issue in my opinion, for being a very fast semi-automatic shotgun, which you could just spam. But it'll definitely kill, and since it's in the top 10, that's what you need in World at War. You need guns that can kill. So yeah, that for the beginning of our top 10. At our number 9 spot is the L96A1, and it was a little bit difficult putting the 2 snipers here because they're back to back. They have to be back to back. They're pretty much the same thing. But what I found was that this thing was actually able to kill things into the 30s, and a lot of other weapons in Black Ops can't do that. So it got this high up. It has much more penetration power, which actually helps it a lot in my opinion. But yeah, just using this, it's overall a solid gun, and I just wish it, I don't know, it's overall just a good gun. I would recommend it if you're trying to go to later rounds in the game, although there are much better weapons to use in my opinion. Its sister gun at number 8 is the Dragunov. One note I want to say is that these 2 guns are probably, they're snipers, yeah, but they're the best at killing George Romero. And yeah, just the Dragunov is just a semi-automatic version of just semi-automatic sniper. It's roughly the same thing, except one's bolt action, one's semi-automatic. And so this has a faster fire rate, but the L96 is more penetration power. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some with both guns. But for its usefulness in just killing zombies on the later rounds, both these guns have got this high up. These guns are really interchangeable to me. One could be at the L96 could be arguably at 8. Other one to be at 9. But just know that these guns have to be together because they're the same thing, pretty much. So they always have to be next to each other somewhere. Anyway, at our number 12 spot is the Spaz 12. Not 12. I don't know why I said 12. I said 7 spot is the Spaz 12. Sorry. And a very good shotgun in my opinion. Honestly, it probably should be a little bit lower after thinking about it. But this thing will last you for a very solid amount of time. Very great gun to use on Black Ops in my opinion. And never really had an issue with it. Except a lot like many of the other good guns and shotguns especially, it needs more ammo. More stock ammo for it to be just better. Anyway, at our number 6 spot is the Python, and this is a perfect weapon to go to high. If you can get this out of the box and you can't get the Wonder Weapon, use this because this is a very solid weapon on later rounds. I was using this fine on round 30, but and then I died immediately after because it just did something stupid. It wasn't me using the Python, and then because this is my mule kick, that I was using this as my mule kick gun, so I lost it. But so that was fun, but a very solid gun. But it's like a pre-Wonder Weapon, honestly. Like, if you need something before you get the Wonder Weapon, Python is your go. It'll do damage, it'll last you a solid amount of time until you get the Wonder Weapon, pretty much. So that's what I would use the Python for. And that's why it's at our number 6 spot. At our number 5 spot is the AUG, and this probably should have been lower. But personally, I think the AUG is pretty solid overall. I was actually relatively surprised with it. On the later rounds, upgraded wise, it was pretty solid around the 30s. But there's an argument for this to be much lower, and like with the HS10, I'll probably concede to that argument. Like with the FAMAS, I'd probably concede to that argument. But overall, the AUG is a very, very good shotgun, very good AR with the master key underbarrel shotgun attachment, which I was thinking about earlier. So very solid AR. At our number 4 spot is the Commando. Very, very well-known weapon in Black Ops, and especially Black Ops 1 Zombies. Very, very good, I would say. Great for points, great for damage. It lasts you quite a while, but there's just this thing only loses to one other rifle. But overall, the Commando is a very, very solid weapon. Very great gun, very good damage. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record with some of these guns, but it's very, very good and very much deserves the number 4 spot. At our number 3 spot is the Galil, and just a better Commando, honestly. Very good damage, very good mobility, has a good amount of ammo in it. Pack-a-punch, it's great. It'll last you a very long time. It definitely into the 30s. And both these rifles are very, very solid to use in Black Ops. Alright, now we are at our number 2 spot, and that is the M72 Law. And this gun can output some of the highest damage against zombies. My only issue with the M72 Law Pack Punch is its ammo. It's lower than I would like it to be. Now that seems to be a major issue with a lot of the great guns in this game, is that the ammo just isn't there. But I think it helps keep it balanced because the M72 Law is very, very good. It will definitely get kills in later rounds. It's just mobility just isn't there, which is why it loses to our number 1 spot. And our number 1 spot is the M1911. It's the best. It'll get kills for a very long time. Yes, it'll start making crawlers into the 20s, but I'm fine with that. I mean, it'll still kill them at some point. Both the Law and this can get kills on round 40, round 50, and most of the other guns in this game can't say that they can do that. So it's why these are ranked at number 2 and number 1. Anyway, that's the end of my list. I'm not very well versed when it comes to Black Ops 1 guns, I would say. Definitely Black Ops 2. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about that. Black Ops 1, I know around what I know what I'm talking about, but like I said, there are a couple things that could be replaced with one gun and moved around. But according to my rules, I feel like this was the best list I could have came up with. If you disagreed with anything, make it a comment and I will respond to it accordingly, and maybe with evidence, or maybe agree with you about the point you made. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time, and goodbye.